Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam. He's back out for a three. Left wing is good.
Deep to right field at the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Welcome inside the Casanova Center. Thanks for being with us today. Good to be back with you inside the Country Financial Studio. I'm Joey Mack, though. I got to be honest with you. I really wish that I was not here in studio today. I was really hoping that maybe there'd be an upset in the regional round. Oregon would be hosting the Super Regionals. There was a possibility of that. Likely, though, the Ducks would have been traveling had they gotten it done in Louisville. So I wish that I was still on the road. So no offense to our first guest, Rob Mullens, but, well, Rob, I wish that you and I were probably traveling to, like, Texas or something today.
Yeah, I share the same wish. It would have been fun to continue in baseball. But that's a tough draw going to Louisville. Yeah. Obviously, Coach Waz, the team had a great year, but tough opponent, and that's what you're going to have this time of year. We need to get those games back here where you have a decided advantage.
Yeah, that's true. And back-to-back years though, making it to the regionals, and a lot of programs would say that's a good thing. I think that Mark Wasikowski would say, well, we want to be the ones that get to super regionals.
Yeah, that's right. And, we were right on the bubble to hosting right until the end. And, there is a decided advantage, I think, if you looked at the results of being at home. And it, yes, it's another great foundation block and progress. But, yeah, we want a taste of hosting those and then advancing to the Super Regional and preferably hosting those at home too.
Yeah, that's the ideal case. You want to be in that top 8. And, you never know what happens with the way that the structure could work. You may end up hosting, actually the last time the Ducks hosted Super Regionals, it was because Kent State pulled an upset.
Right, that's exactly right. And that's, that's what makes this time of year fun, right? We are all glued to softball regionals, super regionals, and then baseball regionals, and now it'll be baseball super regionals. And super regionals are so different than regionals. A 14 format, double elimination versus best 2 out of 3. The whole pitching dynamic changes.
Yeah. All right, we got a lot to talk about. So anyway, that was our way of saying that baseball season has come to a close. We'll recap it a little bit more. I didn't even introduce you. Rob Mullens. Yeah. Oregon Athletic Director is here. We just got rolling. I mean, you walked in. You were ready to go.
I was in the starting blocks using the track metaphor.
That was good. Yeah, NCAA championships coming up. Robert Johnson actually just met with the media. We'll have that for you in our full track preview on the show tomorrow because the Summer of Hayward is off and running, which is pretty darn fun.
It is. Obviously the anchor event, the World Championships, first time in the United States is what everyone's talking about. I've been as an event this week and at a luncheon last week, and that's the anchor event. And I'm like, well, we've already hosted, the Pac-12 championships, the OSAA high school championships. We have all the NCAA championships this week, U.S. high school nationals, and U.S. championships before we even get to the world championships. So when we say epicenter of track and field in the world, it's happening all this summer.
And this was the goal, right? I mean, this was what the idea was with Hayward Field.
Hayward Tracktown USA has always done it better than anybody. And then when you layer on the reimagined Hayward Field, you do have these opportunities to invite the world to Eugene, Oregon, to the University of Oregon, to Tracktown USA, because I don't think anybody does it better. When you look at the collaboration from, Travel Lane County, Tracktown USA and Michael Riley, the University of Oregon, Oregon Athletics, all those entities collaborating along with, our own, Visitors Convention Bureau here in Eugene, Springfield. We know how to do it better than anybody, all the volunteers. So, yes, this was the expectation, is that when we have a facility that's the best in the world, that all these major track events would want to be in Eugene.
You and I touched on this last time you were on the show, and I since had revisited it with Robert Johnson, actually. And Coach Johnson even brought it up without me even prompting him. He just said, and imagine all these people from all over the world coming here, seeing what it looks like around this community when there is such an interest, and it is a boon to the local economy. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's so many benefits to all this.
There is. I mean, just on a matter of scale, I mean, the NCAA Track Championship is a huge event. I mean, we're going to have over 1,200 athletes.
Yeah.
Then you think about all the support staff, the coaches, the trainers, the administrators that are here. We're filling up hotel room nights for a week or more, because most schools are out of, the semester schools are finished with finals.
Yeah.
So they're into Eugene, and obviously, that what not only the hotels, but what that means to the local economy. And I think Robert's spot on. When people come see it, they want to come back.
Well, it's interesting. A little bit of an inside the travel program, if you will. So yesterday, the baseball team comes back into Lawrence Air, right? And one of the guys actually mentioned, we've been really busy because it's baseball, it's softball, it's all these different things, and it's track and field. There's different teams coming in for so many different sports. Makes it fun.
Yeah, if you're coming to Eugene and you're looking for either a hotel room or a rental car, particularly an SUV or a van right now, good luck.
Yeah. A minivan, by the way, the best for a lot of different sports, but golf, track and field with some of the shall we say accessories to those sports,
apparatuses.
That's a great
or
word.
Instruments.
Fabulous word choice. I mean all of that. You need something like that. Those vans. So track and field is here, and I'm really excited to talk a little bit more about it. It also is the last time that you'll be on with us this academic year, and so I wanted to hit on a couple things with you if we could. First of all, the Go Do Anything campaign. You picked the shirt perfectly today, by the way, everybody. So Rob's wearing, if you have not seen the logo with the celebration of Title IX, the Go Do Anything campaign. It's outstanding. Rob, you got the shirt on. That is an ongoing endeavor right now. Pretty darn cool.
Absolutely, to be able to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and we have seen the impact here at the University of Oregon, and not just on the competitive field. I went to a luncheon this week, where Hayward Field received an award, and Bev Smith was the keynote speaker talking about the impact of Title IX. And just think about our community and what Bev does. Title IX brought Bev to the University of Oregon, and how lucky are we that Bev has remained here?
Yeah.
So not just the opportunity for Bev through college athletics, but the opportunity for our community to have someone like Bev to make an impact, not only as the coach at the University of Oregon, but to go on and do all the great things that she's doing at kids sports. So again, it's just about opportunity. And, we've done so many neat things in my, 13 years here. We awarded letters to all the female student athletes who competed, with the University of Oregon prior to Title IX. And what a neat event that was to hand out. I think it was over 200 letters, and how meaningful and emotional that was. And then to see the impact that, all of our women's teams had in our community, the run and the development we've seen under Kelly with women's basketball, and seeing all the young girls out to watch Sabrina, Ruthie, Satu, and make that connection. It's just so cool what Title IX has done and continues to do.
So spoiler alert, you're going to see a lot more coming on the Go Do Anything campaign with some of those great stories. 'Cause I love that you brought up Bev, because, to me, that's like those stories are what make it so special. So literally just this morning on that computer behind Scott, on the editing computer, he was just showing me all of the coaches here at the University of Oregon, talking about what it meant to them, maybe as athletes, what it meant to them as young people, now what it means to carry it over with the next generation. It's pretty special.
It is pretty special. When you look at what Dave and Nancy Petrone allowed us to start with our Women in Flight program, again, we've got a long list that will be rolled out. But, again, the impact of Title IX and creating opportunities for young women is something that has a lasting impact. And it just hit me when I was listening to Bev talk about Title IX of how lucky are we in this community that because of Title IX, a Canadian basketball player ends up in Eugene, Oregon, and stays and has the impact that she has. So, you can connect all that to Title IX.
That's cool. So you'll see more of that those stories coming over the next few months across various Oregon athletics channels. Overall year in review, Rob, I want to hit on this before we take a break and then come back and kind of digest a little bit and look ahead to the fall. Only athletics program with 10 football wins, 20 men's basketball wins, 20 men's basketball and 20 women's basketball wins, 30 softball wins, and 30 baseball wins. I'm also going to venture to say the only one that had men's golf, women's golf in the conversation for national titles. And then, oh, by the way, we're not even done with track and field yet, and a number of other sports that were successful. You talk about broad-based excellence. Recap the year for us.
That's it. I mean, you summed it up. I mean, we start with two major goals in mind. One is student-athlete experience. You know, are we serving our student-athletes the right way to make sure that they can have the growth and development while they're here and enjoy success in their sport? And then number two is broad-based excellence. If we're going to sponsor it, we want to compete at the highest level. And you listed off, obviously some of the incredible achievements. It's been a phenomenal spring. And you're the only one amongst the Power Five that can do that kind of depth. You're delivering on the broad-based excellence. Is there always a little bit more out there we want? Sure, we're competitors. We're always looking at what's next. What can we do to improve? But all in all, a really good year when you think about broad-based excellence.
You know, one of the things that measures this, we've talked about it on the show before with you and without, is the Director's Cup and just how it sort of takes into account your entire athletic department, and still routinely the smallest athletic department in terms of number of sports that's in the top 20, top 25.
Yeah, no, we held that distinction for, 10 or 11 years in a row, and I think someone knocked us off in the last round. But we'll be right back here in that fight. Again, the scoring system doesn't set up for a program that has 20 sports. Right. But as we always say on here, we box above our weight class. And, again, a women's golf finishing runner-up, a men's golf making it, to the final round. And you look at all the deep runs that our teams have made, and, men's track winning their 14th or 15th right. Pac-12 title in a row. We don't want to let that go unnoticed. And then the great news today that Allie Bunker's an academic All-American, the ultimate achievement as a student athlete.
That's right.
And Allie certainly deserves that.
First one for Oregon softball since 2016, which really isn't that long ago.
Not that long ago.
To put it in perspective. More on that coming up in just a little while. We're also going to continue our year in review, if you will, the last week of Duck Insider this week, heading into the final Oregon athletics events at Hayward Field, at least ones that are the traditional Oregon athletics competing in the NCAAs, but then you got Pro Ducks. Shout out, by the way, to Wyndham Clark and Aaron Wise and making the U.S. championships. Pretty darn cool for the U.S. Open.
Very cool.
The point that I'm making is I can go down a list, and everybody always asks me, like, how do you talk about just Oregon athletics for an hour every day? Well, in just the last 24 hours, I thought to myself, well, okay, I'm going to spend some time with you, Rob, talking about the year in review. But we could have easily spent the last 10 minutes just talking about baseball and track and then a few other things, and that's a segment.
No doubt. And then you think about the impact in the last, let's just say in the last 2 weeks of the women's golf team and their run on the Golf Channel, the incredible coverage, what that delivers. And then you look in the New York Times, there's a story about David Peterson.
That's right.
In the New York Times, there's a story about Peyton Pritchard and his role in the NBA Finals. So, again, it's this incredible platform where we're fortunate to have wonderful young people doing great things that opens the eyes of everything else that's around us. So it helps in so many ways.
I do want to hit on women's golf. A quick timeout if we can.
Sure.
We'll come back. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us. Final time this athletic and academic year. Student-athlete graduation is upon us. Rob also was involved in a carpool karaoke. We're going to ask him about that coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear gas prices, Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Dear gas prices. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
These are the sounds of a dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us. We've covered a lot so far, Rob, and this is always like the most difficult and the easiest interview to do. When we get to the end of the year, and it's like, hey, let's recap, but then I always feel like I'm going to miss something.
That's what I always worry about too. When I go to highlight things at graduation for the seniors, you try to capture it all, but also be brief because there's a lot of speakers. But same thing. I'm just scared to death I'm going to miss something.
Speaking of that, though, student-athlete graduation upcoming. One of many graduation ceremonies over the next week or so. I do want to highlight for everybody, it's the first time in about 25 years that the overall graduation has taken place at Autzen Stadium, which – shout out to all of the facilities and events staff, because that is a cool deal. I'll be honest, I'm kind of excited.
No, our team has worked really close with campus and the Vice President for Student Affairs office in helping execute that, but it's going to be pretty neat. I saw them starting the setup both at Matthew Knight Arena and at Autzen Stadium, so it's going to be pretty cool. And if you don't need to be around the Autzen complex on Monday, you might want to stay away.
Don't worry, there's a golf event in Portland on Monday. So shout out to anybody else who's making that trek, because I thought about that when I saw Mike Duncan's email to the staff. A little inside baseball for you, and he said, "Yeah, if you have any in-person meetings, maybe adjust." That day.
Monday morning's not the time to be inviting people for meetings around the Autzen complex.
Student-athlete graduation is a special day, though, and it's kind of been a while.
It has been a while. It'll be great to have it back in person. Obviously it's a time to celebrate after all. That's the number one goal here is to provide that exceptional education that the University of Oregon offers and to see everybody with their families celebrating. And, it'll be special because this class has been through a lot.
They have.
And they've persevered, so it'll be fun to celebrate with them.
That's coming up, so we'll have more on that. You'll see some, I'm sure, on a lot of the student-athletes' social media celebrating because they should.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's
I came back to the office a little later last night after 5, and there was a car blocking the entrance to the HDC parking garage with a young man with his graduation cap on standing on the hood of his car taking photos. Thank goodness it wasn't a student athlete. I didn't have to stop, but said, that looks dangerous.
Just to get the photo.
Just to get the perfect social media photo.
Yeah, it's a different era.
That thought crossed my mind, and then I'm like, yes, I am get off my lawn guy today. Move along.
What and then you think back to, and I'm sure that there are examples of different things that your parents said the same thing about something you did when you were that age.
It's amazing how, as you get older, more experienced, and then you also have kids that your risk tolerance shifts.
I get that. That makes sense. So I was going to ask Jerry Allen this tomorrow, and I'm going to ask you this as well. I'm becoming a father in August. Any fatherly advice for me? What should I know?
Oh, wow. I mean, really, for me, I think it's just enjoy every moment because I know everybody says this, but it flies by. You know, to think that our oldest is gonna be a senior in high school next year and then off to college just blows my mind. But man, it's the greatest thing that will ever happen to you. Enjoy it.
All right, that's good advice. See, and I need to hear more of that because you know me, Rob. I'm a planner.
Yeah.
I don't do well with schedule changes, and so
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You'll have a new perspective on all those types of things. You know, if you're neat, you're going to show up sometime with stuff on you that people will come to understand.
That's right. That's right. I'll see. And then everybody, please remind me that that's okay. Well,
Right.
yeah, for those of you that are here in the studio every day, like Scott, the O Show also was back.
It was back.
With Authority. I gotta say, I was really disappointed I wasn't able to make it on Tuesday, but all accounts, it was phenomenal. And what a great job. What a celebration.
Yeah, great show. And shout out to the student athletes, particularly the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, because, you know, it was an event that they wanted back, and they said, hey, let us take ownership of it. We'll run it. We'll MC it. We'll plan it. We'll execute it. And, you know, obviously Arkeem and Katie were good advisors. But, you know, the student athletes, Marcus Harper, Tahina standing up to say, hey, we'll be the MCs, and the student athletes, you know, they wanted it to be formal attire, and obviously they showed up, the energy. You have a special talent like, you know, Tyler Gannis to come perform. We had a little dance contest. It was a phenomenal night.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We also understand that you participated in carpool karaoke.
Yeah, that was Marcus and Tahina wrote me into driving around Eugene. And
who drove?
Marcus drove. There were some scary moments, and I'm not talking out of school. I shared that with Marcus because he drove, interviewed, sang, you know, had this little spats with Tahina. I just warned him beforehand that, listen, my playlist is limited mostly to country. Which, you know, they admitted was not in their wheelhouse. But, you know, Marcus did recall that, you know, some of the offensive linemen used to get together and they had a little Brooks and Dunn song that he knew. So it was a lot of fun. Not my proudest moment as AD, but I did it.
Hey, but maybe it's not your proudest moment because I know you as a bit of a perfectionist, but those are cool things that student athletes want the AD to do.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I thought that they were doing it in the true carpool karaoke sense for the Q&A, but when they edited it down, there was no Q&A. It was just me swaying in the back singing the Brooks and Dunn. So I think they had a little fun with it too.
Yeah, of course, as they should. Well, we've covered a lot over the course of this chat today. We haven't even yet looked ahead. So what's on the summer agenda? What are you doing over the summer as we get ready for the fall, in addition to all the track and field we've talked about?
Yeah, obviously the track and field is, you know, that's going to consume a lot of time because that's now until the end of July. And, you know, our fall sports report end of July, early August. So, you know, this is the time when we step back and evaluate. And you know, we've been evaluating throughout the year, but, you know, where there are changes that need to be made and adjustments, this is the execution time. And it really is a short window given how busy we are. But, you know, the one thing that we need to really make sure that we do is give our staff a chance to breathe and reset. You know, as you read everywhere, you know, there's a lot of burnout because we've been pushing hard. And then you layer on these track events and the amount of time that our staff have to put in. You know, we want to make sure that we provide a window for our staff to really step back, step away, and recharge. That's the number one priority. And then come back fired up, ready to go. You know, next year's going to be a big year. Excited for the Dan Lanning era to kick off. We have an incredible home schedule. Love to sell out those two first games. Yeah. Eastern Washington, BYU. Great kick times and great opportunities for us to show Dan and the new staff, you know, that Autzen experience. So ready to get going.
Yeah, 5:30 for Eastern Washington, and then a 12:30 kickoff.
National, yeah, Fox National.
That's a big one.
Big one. And we know BYU travels well.
Right.
So if the Duck fans don't gobble them up, we're going to allow the BYU Cougars to invade our stadium. So hopefully we can. Our single game ticket sales are going on now to our season ticket holders. Hopefully we can fill that up.
I appreciate you saying that because you know, sometimes I think there's maybe this idea of we'll wait and see. It's not through the summer yet, but that's BYU fans aren't going to let Duck fans
Yeah,
do
it was
that.
the same. It's a shame that we didn't have the 2020 season when we would have had North Dakota State. Same thing. By contract, these visiting teams get 3,000 tickets. North Dakota State told us they could have taken 9,000. They had requests for 9,000 tickets. I suspect that BYU will be something similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's an experience to go to Autzen, right?
It is an incredible experience to go to Autzen. Obviously, BYU is going to transition to the Big 12. Fox National Window, a huge opportunity to showcase all that is Oregon football.
Well, there's obviously still a lot going on around college athletics, too, over the course of the summer. And I always say that when we have our final weeks of shows, because the truth is this is a year where we actually probably could do Duck Insider throughout the entire summer. There's enough Products action going on, all of the events at Hayward Field. But truthfully, I appreciate what you said because I need to take a break.
Yeah. No, and we also have NCAA Transformation Committee,
That's
D1
right.
Transformation going on. Obviously, plenty of conversations about name, image, likeness, about are there going to be potential changes to the transfer portal? So all that's going to continue on. You could easily fill the shows, but, everybody, even our fans, probably just need to step back and take a break.
For sure. And what I was kind of going to get at with that, too, is everyone who watches and listens to the show regularly knows that I'm not going to be the opinion giver, the headline reader. Like, that's why I have people like you come on the show to tell us what's going on. How much is that going to be on your and everybody else's agenda, just the state of college athletics?
We've seen it coming. It's a really transformative time. When you look at all the changes that could be coming from the NCAA Transformation Committee, and D1's going to look different. And the goal was to have that work done by August, but it's going to continue, and it's going to continue through the summer. And it's really taking a look at how do we deregulate. And we've got to make sure that our voices are being heard for the University of Oregon as well as the Pac-12. But change is coming, and it's coming rapidly, and we want to make sure that we're engaged in that.
The fall season, with all that in mind, there is a lot of momentum heading into this fall for the University of Oregon.
No doubt. Real excited. Obviously can't wait to get soccer back out there again. They were so close to making the postseason. Graham's doing amazing things, and obviously cross country is always going to be in the mix for a national championship. Coach Ulmer had a great year. Volleyball team had a great year. Excited to get them rolling again, and it's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. And I tell this to Coach Abel, since his offices are right across from the studio, that they're always the first ones back, and they're always the first one to kick off the season, and that breeds some excitement, around them.
No doubt. And obviously the excitement of being so close, and being right there, and they are the first ones back. It gets everybody's blood flowing, and it kind of alerts everybody, particularly when they play that first game, that we're underway.
Yeah. Before we know it, too, I do want to mention that there is a kind of big football opener. Hope to see a lot of Duck fans in Georgia.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, playing against the defending national champs in Atlanta, which is kind of that's where the College Football Hall of Fame is. It is a real gathering spot. Gary Stoken and his team there at the Chick-fil-A Bowl do a phenomenal job of hosting events, and we get a chance to go down and play in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in front of another amazing TV window. I think it's going to be on the short list for game day.
Yeah.
There's going to be an incredible buzz, and we're going to need everybody that's in that region to show up, because I know how the other team travels, and obviously we want to get there and make an impression.
You talk about the student-athlete experience, and it's a business trip. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Ducks are going in well prepared. They want to win this game, but it is a heck of an experience. It's why you come to a place like Oregon.
It is. That's exactly why you come. You get an opportunity to take a road trip like that against the defending national champs with in a pro stadium with that TV window. You're right. That's what people get excited about playing in those games.
Couple final thoughts for you. I always like to ask if we missed anything else that fans should know.
Boy, I think no, just a thank you to all of our fans. This was our first year kind of back to normal. It was great to see everybody back and supporting football all the way through, baseball, softball here at the end. It's amazing when women's golf makes a run like that. They do. How many people get connected to that through the Golf Channel, and what a lot of fun to be a part of that. So really just to thank you. We're so blessed and so fortunate to have a passionate fan base that really cares about all 450 of our student athletes and cheers for all 20 of our teams, and that's what sets us apart.
Well, thank you, Rob. Appreciate you taking the time, as always. The state of the department. That's kind of what we do, I feel like, every June.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, that's great. It's been a phenomenal year. It's good to recap and, just enjoy the fruits of the labor and then get ready to do it again.
Yeah, we'll see you. I think we'll see what happens with your vacation schedule because you got to get some, too.
I'm going to try.
We're hoping probably the first week of August we'll have our state of the department here. It'll feel like an eternity later, but it's really only 2 months later.
It's not that long, right?
That's how much is going on between now and then. Rob, thank you.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Really
Thanks for
appreciate
everything.
it. We're going to get a timeout. When we come back, more on Alley Bunker, just how impressive that was. I have not yet reviewed the baseball season. Jordan did it in depth yesterday. We'll do that. Also, plays of the year from men's basketball, preview of Oregon track and field in the NCAAs. That's coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. Well, the baseball season, unfortunately, coming to a close. Jordan recapped it in depth for you yesterday, and I do want to say thanks to Jordan for joining me all season long. It was great to have him along for the ride. Looking forward to working with Jordan more. You guys will hear more from him coming up August, September. He'll be helping us out. And, you know, I think that it stings right now. The Ducks go 1-2 in the Louisville Regional. Felt like they shot themselves in the foot a few times against Michigan. Felt like they didn't play their best game against Louisville, and they end up going 1-2. And what's odd is that those two performances are sandwiching a program record for hits in a baseball game. That's not like just a record this season. That's a program record that they had against SEMO for hits in a game. So it was kind of a Jekyll and Hyde, and I felt like the regional in some ways illustrated Oregon's season in a microcosm because, you know, Oregon at times, the offense was just unrelenting and unstoppable, and the bullpen was excellent for the Ducks all year long. This is arguably Oregon's deepest pitching staff. The difference was they just didn't have those 1, 2, or 3 starters that could go that lengthy distance. But I got to say, I give a shout-out to Jake Angier and what he did with openers and piecing the pitching staff together after your Friday night guy and Adam Meyer got hurt at the beginning of the season. I think it's easy to forget that. It's easy to overlook that. But it's program records set, by the way, for home runs, RBIs, runs scored, doubles, and batting average. That all happened this year. So that's great. You want to break as many records as possible, as Mark Wasikowski has said. But I think now the depth of a team, that's going to be the focus in the offseason. And next year, maybe more consistency instead of the up and down, I feel like is what the Ducks are going to be looking for. I think that's what Mark Wasikowski would say. But I will still sit here and say that this is a season worth celebrating. Do they want to make it to Super Regionals? Absolutely. Just as Rob Mullens said, there's always something else on the horizon that you can go after and go get. I feel like that's how Oregon baseball is going to feel this entire offseason. Now, that can be real fuel. I've seen this happen over the course of a lot of different off seasons. Off seasons are critical. What a lot of these Ducks do in summer ball. Some of them are going to the Cape Cod League and other leagues over the summer. I think that's going to be really important for the development of this program. But I think the trajectory is positive. It's in a good spot heading into next season. Allie Bunker, a standout on the diamond and in the classroom. I was so glad that Rob brought that up. Allie Bunker, the 6th Duck in Oregon softball history to earn academic All-America honors. Senior infielder from Huntington Beach was named to the 2022 Academic All-American third team. The College Sports Information Directors of America oversee that. She's the first Duck softball player to be chosen Academic All-American since 2016, and Coral Costa. Bunker was a 3.58 grade point average student in accounting and will earn her undergraduate degree next week. She will return for her 5th season in 2023 while pursuing a master's degree at Oregon. Bunker led the team in 2022 with 65 hits, was one of the toughest batters to strike out in the NCAA. She hit .361 with 10 home runs, 10 doubles, had 41 runs batted in, a 594 slugging percentage, while striking out just 7 times. She struck out just 7 times the entire season, averaging more than 25 at-bats between strikeouts. And in the field, she was a .971 fielder with a team-best 75 assists on the season and an academic All-American. Congratulations to Allie Bunker. That's a tremendous accomplishment. She worked hard for it and certainly deserves the shout-out. When we come back, our men's basketball plays of the year, the season in review. We played a little bit of this at the end of men's basketball season, but now the full recap, and you're going to have to be stuck listening to me call basketball games when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Whoa. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. We got the season recap for Oregon men's basketball, and a shout-out especially to Rob Joyce and to Scott Phillips for putting together our season recaps over the course of the entire season. Rob is a true soldier behind the scenes for the Oregon Sports Network. He puts together all of our formats, so in the inside broadcast realm for you, the way that our shows work and the way the breaks are structured and all the different things that it takes to actually run the board back in the studio where Mitchell Lee is located. That's all Rob Joyce. A shout out to Rob, and he puts together all of what we call, I don't know why we call it this in radio, but it's imaging. Imaging is basically like the music and the billboards and the bounce back effects that you hear. That's called imaging in the radio world. I don't know why. Maybe Mitchell knows. Mitchell, do you know why? I actually have no idea. Yeah, I mean, Mitchell and I think I would both consider to be very average radio professionals. Mitchell better than me, but I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. Anyway, Rob puts together all of that, and he's a tremendous, tremendous producer. And he put together our season recap for Oregon men's basketball. Some of the plays of the year, telling the entire story of the season for Oregon men's basketball. It is so good to be back. The pit crew filing in, fans in attendance at Matthew Knight Arena for another season of Oregon men's basketball. I cannot tell you how exciting it is to have things back to normal. Harmon to Richardson, back to Harmon. He takes the top of the key three. It's good. 11 points for Harmon. All three starting guards are into double figures for the Ducks. Oregon leading 41-28. He goes hard down the left side, missed it. Kapnon follows and jams. Well, a tough trip to Las Vegas for the Ducks. They'll finish in fourth place in the Maui Invitational with a win over Chaminade and then a loss to St. Mary's and a loss here to Houston. As it's 78-49 as Houston takes down the Ducks. Now Oregon going to have to get right in a hurry.
It's been a long 2 weeks. The guys have really struggled through it. Hadn't been easy on us.
Stolen by Young. Young all the way to the basket with two hands. Into the lane, off the glass for two. Got to get a little more cushion here. Harmon, right elbow. Free throw line, spins into the lane, he lays it in for two. Ducks 71, Highlanders 65. UCR came in, played the Ducks tough, but Oregon finished off a hard-fought win in the first real close game of the year for the Ducks. Jackson rebound. Ducks leading 67-66, 20 seconds to play in overtime. Got to get the stop they didn't get at the end of regulation. Now Jackson going toward the hole, throws it to the corner, out to Heath, his three. Good. A tough inbounding spot for Harmon in the corner. Ducks down two. Harmon does get it into Richardson, who puts it on the floor, pulls up at the elbow, and it bounces off the rim. Rebound ASU. Ducks fall in the Pac-12 conference opener in overtime. Dante defending the inbound pass. They'll get it into Dallaire. He'll pull up for a left wing three and hit it. Dallaire nails it from the left wing, and Stanford will win at the buzzer at Maples Pavilion.
A step in the right direction, but you still got to win games. We're not in a position where we should be happy about playing close. You know, we got to win that game. We got to make plays. We have seniors. They got to make plays, and you know, we didn't make the plays down the stretch.
Ducks need to score in a hurry. Thrown ahead to Young. He's open for a corner three. Got it! All right, 72-64. Baylor rebounds, and a valiant effort from the Ducks, but they fall short. Baylor goes on an 8-0 run after tying it at 51 to pull away from the Ducks, and they end up winning by 8.
I told him afterwards, there's been some games where we didn't get ready, and our competitive level wasn't good. Our competitive level was good.
You look back at the losses we had, like BYU and Houston, we didn't compete, and we got kicked. Tonight we competed.
Obioha is blocked by Biddle, but he gets the miss. Now Biddle blocks him again. 2 blocks from the big man. Richardson into the lane in transition, lays it in with the left hand. But the Ducks get it done against the Waves of Pepperdine. 68-59 is the final. Scoop pass, Dante jam. Dante with some power. Ducks picking up the Pac-12 win, 79-66. Ducks win. Passes to the perimeter, Williams for three. Got it! Eric Williams from the right wing nails it. Ducks up 77-74. 6. Ducks are going to stay up on him. Lucas passes inside to Alatiche, missed it at the buzzer. Ducks win 78-76. Another great iteration of this rivalry.
You know, finding a way to win was really good, and now we got a real tough road game, you know, coming up.
17 to shoot. Richardson down the left side of the lane to the bucket, and one. Will Richardson pass to the left wing. Young pulling up right mid post. He hits it. Ducks up by 3. Just over 9 seconds to play. Juzang brings it up, pulling up for a right wing long 3. Too strong. Ball tipped in the air. Grabbed by Bernard at the buzzer. He doesn't hit it. Ducks get the win. Oregon takes down number 3 UCLA in Poly. The resume building win the Ducks were searching for, and they got it. Huge win for Oregon. 1-on-1, now 2-on-1. Harmon loses the ball, pass to Dante, dunk. Richardson dribbling ahead, pulls up for 3. Got it! Rebound Trojans, but it doesn't matter. Oregon 79, Trojans 69. The Ducks down USC for a back-to-back top 5 win on the road. First, it was number 3 UCLA 84-81, and now the Ducks take down number 5 USC 79-69 in the Galen Center.
Puts our foot in the door, you know, it gives us a little life. You know, now we got to go home and take care of business. You know, I told the guys, you know, home doesn't take, you know, not going to do anything for us if we don't go out and play.
And from the right wing, he pulls up for a transition triple. Will Richardson, 37-8. One of the best halves of basketball the Ducks have played this year. They outscore the Huskies 48-13 in the first half and win 84-56. He turned over. Williams at the buzzer. Oh! He hit it! 3-quarter court. Eric Williams. Nakano will inbound. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Taylor fires it up at the buzzer. That does it. Ducks 78, Beavers 56. Oregon sweeps the regular season series with the Beavs. A good win for the Ducks. Pass to Williams, passes it underneath to Dante, dunk! Williams lobs it over the top to Young, who goes in and lays it in. 80-77. Gotch ahead, 3 from Ballstadt. No, Ducks escape. 80-77 is the final, and the Ducks escape from the Huntsman Center. Harmon, pass to Richardson, fakes, now gets into the defense. He'll go into the lane and lays it in and one. Ducks defend home court. A win they had to get, and they get it. 68-60. Ducks over the Cardinal. They avenge the earlier season loss. Another effort for Williams for 3 off the backboard. The Ducks escape. 62-59 across midcourt. 5 seconds to play. Richardson, top of the key, will try to create some space and doesn't get a shot off. Wildcats win. Now Young lobs it. Eric Williams slam! 5 to play. Campbell gives to Singleton. Long 3. Off the backboard. Eric Williams rebound. Ducks win. 68-63. Oregon gets it done at Matthew Knight Arena. Ducks drop the regular season finale. 94-74. Cougars take down the Ducks. Oregon will be the 5 seed in Vegas.
Our guys just going to have to shake it off. We're going to have to figure out a way to compete down at the tournament, make something happen. We've not played well here. We've lost 5 of 6. Guys got to get focused. We got to be ready to play.
Dante coming to set a screen for Harmon. 5 to shoot. Harmon into the lane. Right side drive. Missed it. Dante follows and slams. Ducks will stay in Vegas one more night. 86-72. Oregon beats Oregon State, and they advance to take on the number 4 seed, Colorado.
Everybody wants to go to the NCAA tournament. You know, there's been a lot of good players go to the NIT. I'd be very disappointed if our guys weren't excited about playing.
Dribbles to the paint, kick out, Guerrier triple. He hit it, and he's fouled. The Ducks aren't done yet. 83-72, Oregon takes down Utah State here in Logan. They'll advance to the second round of the NIT. Final seconds tick out as Soares lobs one up. No good. Texas A&M 75, Ducks 60. Season comes to a close for the Ducks in the second round of the NIT here in College Station. No shock, some good, some bad, and it's fun, though, to listen back on a lot of that because it gets you excited for next year, doesn't it? Ducks already working hard. You've seen some of the social media in the offseason. Roster's going to look a little bit different next year. I think some good pieces have been added. I'm looking forward to next season for men's basketball already. On tomorrow's show, Jerry Allen's going to join us, Rob Mosley as well. We'll talk a little bit more about men's basketball. We'll talk a little bit more about what's to come next year. There's a lot on the horizon still. And the final Oregon athletic events of the year this weekend at Hayward Field. Feels odd. Jada Ross previewed it. We're going to have that for you when we come back, talking track after this, and field on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a country financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local country representative.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. Tomorrow, Robert Johnson, Oregon track and field head coach, will have some of his thoughts heading into the NCAA championships this weekend. The Summer of Hayward, it's going on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hear from Robert Johnson coming up. But Jada Ross, she also met with the media late last week previewing the NCAA championships. One of many Ducks that are going to be looking to compete for a national title, Jada Ross.
I mean, this program obviously has a lot of tradition, but there hasn't been a lot of instances of getting here, of a woman getting here and shutting discs. Just what does that mean to you? Do you have a sense for kind of the historical context of an achievement like that?
It's been a goal of mine, and I think it means a lot just because I know that it makes Coach Whitsitt pretty proud and makes me happy, and it's very wholesome to be part of a group that cares so much and puts in so much time for you. This is including like teammates and coaches, and I think it's great to have so much support and then for it to kind of pay off in the end, and then it kind of just turns into excitement because, I mean, you make a big meet and then you just end up just wanting to have fun at the meet. So,
Hey, do you have any more reflections on that, just being part of a group that's having success? I mean, is that somebody for you that you feed off of? That, I mean, are you more locked into your own stuff, or does that help you think?
Oh yeah, I think Minnie is my training partner, and so having her we're just always competing, like with throws, and kind of in a friendly way, but it's good to have somebody just right next to you, pushing you. I think right now, one thing that people bring up a lot is like how amazing it is to have a school record, but I have my teammate right behind me. Like, I might have it right now, but at the end of the day, like, we're going to end up competing for it back and forth, and I'm really excited for that because we're just going to keep pushing each other and making each other better. And even at practice, we still push each other, make each other better, so it feels good.
Jade, is there anything about your trajectory since you showed up last year to right now that has surprised you?
I think my discus has definitely surprised me. I became a little more athletic over the summer and kind of worked on agility and stuff like that and learning how to control my body in a bigger ring. And so discus has been going pretty well for me, and it was a little unexpected. Not from my coach, which he'll brag about if you ever ask him about it, but I was kind of I wasn't expecting to be like a decent discus thrower, and making a big meet feels really good. And yeah.
How hard was that? How challenging was that to get your disc to maybe where you feel as comfortable as in shot?
It wasn't really focused on. It was more like I want to be an athletic person this summer, kind of overall athletic abilities, and then I showed up to throw, and turns out it works in the discus, so it kind of just applied. So it wasn't like the main focus. Even throwing wasn't the main focus. I just kind of wanted to kind of work on athleticism, and then it kind of just worked in with shot and disc, I guess.
Is that the speed camp you were talking about earlier this year?
Yes, Coach Radcliffe had a speed camp over the summer, and it was a lift session, and then after the lift you go out and you work on piston mechanics and sprints and hills and sand sprints and all this different just really hard stuff that you hate during the time but you end up loving. And so it was very helpful.
Was it something you had ever done before?
Definitely not, but I'll definitely do it again. I have, honestly, and I guess this sounds weird because it's track world, but as a thrower, I hadn't even heard the word piston mechanic before I got here. And so it was new to me in the beginning, and then kind of working what a piston mechanic is, and then building and like different sprints. And it's kind of interesting because I never really knew about that world.
I know everybody here knows what piston mechanics is, but just in case, can you maybe explain what that is?
Piston mechanics is basically like the proper way to sprint, like this position, kind of like piston, which I never did before, but I can do now. So, yeah.
So much good stuff there from Jada Ross. So you heard a little bit from Makai earlier yesterday with some student athletes previewing the NCAA championships. The full schedule is coming your way on GoDucks.com. I'll tell you what, it's one of my favorite events of the year, actually, I'll be honest, the Oregon Track and Field NCAA championships, the NCAA championships at Hayward Field. Full disclosure, yes, I'm biased. I think that Hayward Field should be the permanent host of the NCAA championships. It should be like Omaha. It should be like OKC for baseball, softball. It should be Eugene, Tracktown, USA for track and field. I don't understand it, but I am a little bit biased. So the NCAA championships will begin tomorrow. Our final show will be tomorrow, previewing all the action. They'll continue through Saturday. See you at Hayward Field, everybody. On the show tomorrow, Jerry Allen, Rob Mosley, Robert Johnson. See you then.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing